Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 2. This one is for Season 2, Episode 3, which is called Ouroboros. Okay, so spoiler warning if you guys haven't seen this episode yet. Man, this is an awesome episode. I think it's what it is with Fear, that you just have to be patient sometimes. You know, after the first two episodes, a lot of us were a little bit disappointed in what we were seeing to start, but that's because I think the way Fear is done is that it doesn't wow you at the start. Like, it doesn't start off with an incredible premiere. Even the second episode, the follow-up, same for season one. It's kind of slow to start, but then once it gets going, man, this this was an awesome episode. I guess maybe it's the way it's written and everything like that. That the way the seasons start out, they really build to a good climax. And this one right now is definitely the best episode of the second season, I want to say, and one of the best episodes of the series so far. I'd probably put this at the second best episode, considering it's a normal episode compared to the season one finale, which is the best episode of Fear so far. I would say this one is the next best one. I mean, I could see if you even like this one better than the season one finale. Granted, that does have a pretty sweet zombie herd and Daniel being badass and all that stuff, which is great. But this one has a lot of what makes a really good zombie apocalypse story, great. I mean, it has the character dynamics. It has how people are, getting along together and how groups kind of come together. And even more interesting than the zombies, which is the people. I really like the ending of this one, too. Like I said, major spoiler warnings. When Strand cuts the rope, I was like, shit, because you see him go back and he's fighting with himself back and forth, and you can see he's walking back and forth, he's pacing, he's getting worked up. And I thought, because the way I am as a human being, is that he is, we always project ourselves onto others, and the way we think we are is how we project onto other people, but it's not always the case for sure. I thought that he was struggling with the fact that he had not taken them on, like he had tied them on. But as we got to see, no, he's actually not, festering or getting, kind of worked up because he is debating whether or not to bring them on. He actually is debating whether or not to just go out and cut the fucking rope and get rid of them. And that's exactly what he does, which is worse than if he probably would have left them near land. I mean, at least there were zombies around. There's that there. But at the very least they're not like in the middle of freaking nowhere, because we're not sure how far away they got and how far out they are. But if they're stranded, stranded them in the middle of the ocean, it's like a death sentence, depending, at least for Jake for sure, because he's not going to be able to heal, be able to get back to shore. And, they've got a little bit of water in that, but they're in a pretty bad situation. So that was it's almost like he killed him. He didn't. It's a TV show, so there's TV show logic in here too. Depending on how far out he got, if you leave someone stranded far enough to the point where you're definitely killing Jake one way or another, because he's not going to probably be able to get back. But she probably won't be able to either, unless they're able to paddle their way back, and it takes a really long time, whether or not they have the energy and everything. They were probably in a better position if he would have just left them there. What I'm saying is he stranded them out, pretty far, it seems. So will they survive? Will they not? I tend to think they will, and maybe after that the group will be like, Strand, what the hell? Maybe Travis will get involved and they will maybe overthrow him. We saw in the promo there that Daniel's like, we don't need him. This kind of deal where they go back for him. It seems like Alex would be a very important character, because she's a character that came from the Flight 462 promo series that we got from AMC. So you'd think that she'd be a series regular, like a character that's in every episode. But at the end of this one, you could definitely read it that she's dead, or she's out of the show, or she's gone and we won't see her again. I was really shocked by his decision, and I'm really excited to see in episode 4 what they do if they overthrow Strand and they go back to get them. Because definitely Jake is in bad shape, and like she said, this is the worst. It's not going to get any worse than this, and then it does. It does definitely get worse. So, wow, man, the ending really got me with this one, and all throughout the episode, this is a great episode. We got a great moment for Chris when he. This was a really, really emotional one too, because you have this guy who's in brutal shape. You see his back, and once Chris finds out that his spine, he's dead. His body is destroyed, at that point, and he's just suffering. Chris decides to to give him mercy, and puts him down, so to speak. Puts him to sleep, so to speak, the old-fashioned way, with a blunt object. And I haven't been that big a fan of Chris throughout the series, but I'm starting to like him a lot more. It could be because he kind of looks like a girl. No offense. But he's got the hair back, and he's real skinny and stuff. He's got like little shoes on and stuff. Okay, I'll withdraw that one. But, it was a great part for him. You get to see that. Then Alicia kind of checks on him afterwards and finds out. You could see maybe the start of some kind of, it could be like a brother-sisterly love type thing. Or, I don't know. It'd be weird because they're like, stepbrother, stepsister. So, it's like a brotherly, sisterly thing, I guess. She seems to care about him, checks on him, that kind of deal. It was just a great part when I think when the guy's asking for help and he ends up putting him down. And it was a great moment for him as a character, I think, where he's really started to change from being in the world, from being in the zombie apocalypse. So that was another great part. And then in addition to that, we had also the part with Nick where he's got the guts trick. So we saw this in the promos. I had done a video on it, and we already knew this was going to happen, but we didn't know which episode for sure it would be in. And it turns out it's in this one this week, which is cool. So I really liked it. I thought it was really cool because he kind of comes up out of nowhere and kind of saves them and helps them out, which was a nice little, they're like backed up to the water and then like a small, not really a cliff, but like a small ridge type deal. And then he kind of comes out of nowhere and helps out Alicia and helps out the rest of them, which is really, really cool. He's got the blood everywhere. And I thought it was really funny when he goes up to the zombie's face and he like growls in his face. It's awesome. And when he falls down too, I was like, the thing is though, I would feel like, oh, that's so unrealistic that would happen. But the way that the actor who plays Nick, Stannis' son, has played him since the beginning of Fear the Walking Dead, is that he's always been this clumsy, druggy guy that has bad muscle control and everything. So for him to just fall down or stumble or lose his pants when he's running out of the place and stuff, and grab his pants and get hit by a car, and even the way he moves and everything, he kind of reminds me of Johnny Depp from Pirates of the Caribbean and that. But why's the rum gone? He's except with drugs. I'm sure he wouldn't mind alcohol too. I'm sure he'd enjoy alcohol too. But he's kind of clumsy and he's usually drugged up and he doesn't know what he's doing. And he's kind of, so that's kind of within character for him to just fall down with the crab zombie, which was cool. And then as we can see, that's kind of how the guts trick comes about because he gets the blood all over him, which was cool. So I also thought it was really exciting when Alex runs over the ridge and Dan sees it and he starts shooting and the score. Awesome, man. Really, really cool. Atticus Ross, awesome stuff, man. I really love the score in this one. And, it's just the music is always, the sound's always been great in Fear. And with this one, it was really, really great, especially when they come over and you get that intensity and everything of the zombies coming over the hill and the sand and that. And Alex comes and warns them and then he starts yelling for everybody and shooting off. And then, you got Travis who's fixing, which I also thought was kind of cool too because it also ties back into the first season when he's like fixing their plumbing in their house, like when life was like normal. So that was cool too. So I liked all of that. All that was really great. Let's talk about Ride, the commercial. Reedus. What a freaking dog. He's like riding around on motorcycles and shit. He's got like some guy with him and he's got like 3 chicks. Is it 3 girls or 2? I don't know. He's got like 3 chicks with him and they're like sitting there in the desert. He's pop my desert cherry and all the chicks are like, the words I don't remember, but the meaning is like, oh, he's so awesome. He's so awesome. It's like, what a don, man. It's like, this is what Norman Reedus' real life is like. He just rides around with these roadie chicks around him. I don't know. That's what I took from the commercial. So am I interested in seeing Ride with Norman Reedus? Not really. I mean, what? We get to, we get to watch you ride around and, and be surrounded by chicks like everybody would think that he is. And then, get to see like the desert stuff saying, oh, it's a crater. Oh, that's nice. That's cool. I don't know what to say about it, man. It's like, I don't know. I guess maybe I'll check it out, but it's like a reality show, so I wouldn't have my expectations too high for something like that. It might be some fun. Maybe I'll check it out and do a review of the premiere and let you guys know if it's worth watching, that kind of thing. So we'll see. We'll see what that's all about. It's pretty funny. I laughed anyway when I finished watching it. I was like, this is ridiculous. Anyway, so get to see life from the perspective of Norman Reedus, where you have chicks chasing you around all day and biting you when you're doing fan signings and shit. It's crazy. Anyway, so the rest of the episode, it starts off great. You got the stuff with Jake, you got the stuff with the guy who's bitten, and they kill the one, and then the other one, you've got Alex there. She's protecting him, and that, and then you see the other zombie who gets stuck into some kind of intake valve in the boat in the ship, and then of course Travis has to fix it and everything. They talk about Mexico. You've got Ophelia. She gets the cross from Nick. And aside from that, from the episode, let's see, what else do we got? Did I miss anything? That's pretty much it, I want to say. Bad luck to steal from the dead. And yeah, man, I mean, that's pretty much the episode heading towards, at least now they have a destination in Baja. But again, they don't know for sure. I mean, Strand says that, and it sounds legit, but we do know he's got some pretty cool toys and some pretty neat stuff, like Abigail and his house and everything, super nice and all that. So we'll see. He could be telling the truth, but either way, maybe he doesn't have as much in terms of supplies as it sounds like, because otherwise, if he's really got this stuff at this house and all kinds of stuff, what does he care? If he has to bring her on board, maybe the sick one he might be a little bit more worried about, because of course he might turn to a zombie, and they haven't 100% figured that out yet. They're still figuring it out. I liked Nick's figuring out the guts trick. That was cool. But yeah, I guess I don't know if he really has what he says he has. Why would he be so defensive about taking in a few extra people? Maybe he feels like it's mouths to feed and dead weight, this kind of deal. But if you have the ability to grow food and you have the ability to get water and all this stuff, then what's the issue? What's the problem? It's not a bad thing to add on a couple people. So that was a really exciting ending to the episode, and I as we've talked about before in the predictions in that, is that it's weird because you've got Strand, he's got one type of ideology, he's got one type of viewpoint, philosophy on the world, and then you have the rest of them that have a totally different viewpoint, where Strand sees it more of like a value perspective. What can they add to the group? If not, I'm just going to cut them off, get them out of here dead weight, even with the kid too. It's like all these people are just going to keep trying to bring people on. This is my boat, this kind of deal. So it's definitely going to be a clash, and I'm going to be excited to see episode 4 and onward. What they do with Strand, his transformation, and if he eventually becomes like the villain of the series, which is something that a lot of us, even from when we first met him in season 1, we figured maybe he'll become like kind of the big bad of the series, unless he's killed off in kind of a Shane-like fashion in maybe the end of season 2 or something. But that said, this episode was great. I'm going to give it a 9.6. I enjoyed the absolute hell out of it. I was really impressed, really surprised. And, after episode 2, everybody was kind of upset that, that the first 2 episodes hadn't blown us away. The second episode felt like a little bit like filler, sort of. But this episode right here, I think for sure makes it worth it. Even if you have some episodes here and there that are a bit slower, this was an awesome one. A lot of fun, and really cool to see it from their perspective. As we go through, and I think it's natural as we see more episodes with the characters, starting to feel a lot more for the characters. Even when Travis is in the water and you've got her and she's watching and she's anxious and stuff, you can feel for it too, because we're spending more time with everybody, and as the seasons go on, I think we're just going to care more and more about the characters. Because if they kill off certain characters right now, it's like, well, it's not that big of a deal, because we haven't really grown to care about them that much yet. But later on down the road, of course, you get big character deaths and stuff like that, same as the original Walking Dead, the original series. So this one was great. If they keep doing stuff like this, I'm on board 100%. Really enjoying the show. We'll continue with it as many seasons as they're going to do. Season 3, also excited for that next year, of course, as well. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about this episode. It was great, man. Really, really good. If you guys liked my review, you guys know what to do. Well, let me know what you thought, too. Write your comments below on how you felt about the episode versus the other two. And for me, personally, these are the episodes I wait for. I wait to see episodes like this. It's great. And if you like this review, like I said, please thumb it up below. Don't forget to thumb it up, guys. I always appreciate the thumbs up. And you can share through to Facebook if you like. You can also, add to favorites. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, you want to see more Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead or Game of Thrones reviews from me, Game of Thrones review will be posted soon, guys. I'm going to do it after this one, once I, within the next hour or two. So heads up for that. Then subscribe at the bottom left if you're new. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again real soon. As always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace. See you guys.